Ladies, listen up. What if I told you that the secret to capturing a man's heart isn't in how you look, but in how you make him feel? Yes. Read that again. A man doesn't fall for your appearance. He falls for the emotions you awaken in him. That's the real key to emotional attraction. If you want a man to see you as the one, you have to understand what touches him beneath the surface. So today, I'm going to give you 3 powerful things that make a woman emotionally irresistible to a man. First, you need to understand this. A man is already in a battle out there. Every single day, he's fighting for his dreams, carrying the weight of responsibilities, and dealing with pressures you might never see. Pressure from his job, pressure from family, pressure from society telling him to be stronger, to earn more, to keep it together, even when he's falling apart inside. So when he finally comes home to you, or when he calls you after a long day, the last thing he needs is another battlefield. He's not looking for more conflict. He's searching for peace. And that, ladies, is something many overlook. See, being attractive to a man isn't just about the way you dress, the way you do your makeup, or how skilled you are at playing hard to get. That may catch attention, but it doesn't capture a heart. A real man, the kind who's building a future, the kind who's worth your time, isn't just looking for a pretty face. He's looking for a peaceful place, a soft landing, a woman who makes him feel safe in a world that constantly demands he be tough. Now let's be clear. Peace does not mean being a doormat. It doesn't mean letting him get away with anything or never speaking your truth. It means creating an emotional environment where he doesn't feel attacked. It means he knows he can be himself without judgment. A space where he feels seen, respected, and understood. You ever notice how a man slowly pulls away from a woman who constantly nags, criticizes, or picks fights over the smallest things? He starts staying late at work, hanging out with his friends, more, avoiding home, because home feels like a war zone. But when a woman knows how to support him, how to be calm in chaos, how to listen instead of lash out, that man will go to war for her. He'll move mountains to protect that peace because he knows it's rare. And men do not walk away from what brings them peace. Too many women think keeping a man is about control, checking his phone, tracking his every move, setting rules, creating fear. But the truth, that only pushes a man away. The key is to be the one place in the world where he can breathe, where he can remove his armor and feel human again. Peace looks like knowing when to let go. Every disagreement doesn't have to turn into a dramatic showdown. Sometimes, before you react, ask yourself, is this really worth the energy? Is this about love or just about being right? If it's a serious issue, absolutely, speak your truth. But if it's just about ego, learn to release it. That balance is what builds trust. And let's talk about communication, because peace also looks like clarity. Men can't read your mind. They don't pick up on subtle hints and silent treatments. If something's wrong, say it, but say it calmly, directly, without turning the moment into a war zone. That alone makes you incredibly magnetic. Being able to express your feelings without drama, that's rare, that's powerful. Another form of peace, giving him space. Yes, space. A man needs time to reset, to chase his goals, to sit in silence. That doesn't mean he loves you any less. It means he's human. When a woman respects that space, when she doesn't guilt trip him or cling, he feels trusted. And when a man feels trusted, he stays loyal. Always. Understand this. Men don't need perfection. They don't need you to agree with everything or look flawless 24/7. They need to feel emotionally lighter with you, not heavier. They need a woman who knows how to bring peace, not pressure. And here's something often forgotten: respect. Many women believe love is enough to keep a relationship strong, but for a man, love without respect is hollow. A man can love you and still pull away if he doesn't feel respected. And respect isn't only about loyalty. It's in the little things: how you speak to him, how you treat him in front of others, how you respond when he opens up. Because when a man finally shares his fears, his doubts, his wounds, that's vulnerability. And if you laugh, dismiss, or mock him, he won't. Forget it. He'll retreat. He'll shut down. He'll start hiding his heart. But if you listen, if you make him feel heard, safe, and valued, that moment can build a bond that nothing can break. Last but not least, let's talk confidence. There's nothing more attractive to a man than a woman who knows her worth. Not the kind of confidence that's loud or showy, but the quiet, steady kind. The kind that doesn't need to chase, to beg, to prove. A confident woman has her own goals, her own joy, her own identity, with or without him. That's powerful, because high-value men don't want a woman who waits around for them. They want a woman who's building her own empire. And when he sees that, he knows he's found a queen. And building on what we just talked about, confidence and peace, here's the next part many women overlook: the power of respect. Confidence may capture a man's attention, but respect, that's what holds his heart. A woman who's living her best life, with or without him, is magnetic. She doesn't need to chase. She knows her value, and that energy is exactly what keeps a man coming back. When you're grounded in your self-worth, when you carry yourself like someone who deserves the best, a man doesn't just like you, he respects you. And when that happens, he doesn't want to lose you. You see, a lot of women ask me, "Steve, how do I make a man commit? How do I make him stay?" And I tell them the truth every single time. You don't make a man do anything. You become the kind of woman he never wants to lose. You become unforgettable. And that begins with how you make him feel. Give him peace. Make him feel seen. Respect his mind and his effort. And carry yourself with a quiet confidence that says, "I know who I am, and I know what I bring to the table." Do that, and you're not just another woman in his life. You're the one he can't live without. Now let me be real clear. I'm not saying bow down to a man. This isn't about ego stroking. But you have to understand that men are wired for respect in the same way women are wired for love. Show a man genuine respect, and he will move mountains for you. Make him feel like his thoughts matter, like his ideas are valuable, like you believe in him. And that man will show up for you in ways you've never seen. This isn't manipulation. This is understanding how men connect emotionally. It's what makes him feel bonded, important, yours. A woman who knows how to show respect becomes unforgettable in a man's heart. Now on the flip side, when a man doesn't feel respected, he starts to shut down. Emotionally, he checks out, and you might not notice it at first. On the surface, things may seem fine, but inside, he's pulling away. He may stop sharing. He may become distant. He'll start working late, spending more time with his friends, or getting quiet around you. And you'll be left wondering what changed, when really, he just didn't feel heard or appreciated. Let me give you an example. Say he comes home excited about a new idea. Maybe he wants to start a business or pursue a new dream. Now, if your first reaction is to roll your eyes, laugh, or say, "That'll never work. You've just crushed something sacred." You didn't. Just reject the idea. You rejected him. And while he might not say a word in that moment, inside, a wall just went up. Now imagine the opposite. He walks in with that same excitement, and you respond with curiosity and encouragement. You say, "Tell me more. That sounds exciting." Even if you don't fully believe in the idea, your belief in him is what matters. That belief, it fuels him. It gives him the confidence to try, to rise, to fight for his vision. And when a man feels that kind of support from you, he will do everything in his power to keep you close. Respect also shows up in how you handle conflict. Every couple argues. No relationship is perfect. But it's how you argue that reveals everything. If you're quick to insult, to belittle, to throw cutting words in the heat of the moment, those wounds stay. A man might not react outwardly, but he remembers. He holds on to that pain, and over time, resentment builds. One day, you look over and wonder why he's so distant, so cold. It's because every attempt to be vulnerable with you left him feeling smaller. You ever see a man who lights up around a particular woman? Watch him, how he listens, how he leans in, how he always shows up for her. That's not just love, that's respect. That woman knows how to speak life into him, even when she's holding him accountable. She can disagree, she can challenge him, but she does it in a way that makes him feel like a man, not a mistake. There's something different about a man who feels respected. He walks with more purpose. He works harder. He loves more openly. Because when he feels honored at home, he becomes the best version of himself. On the flip side, you ever see a man lose his drive? Stop trying? 9 times out of 10, it's because he doesn't feel respected by the person closest to him. And here's a big one. How you treat a man in public matters. If you correct him like a child, mock him in front of others, or talk down to him when he slips up, that's one of the fastest ways to make a man emotionally shut down. A man's pride is fragile in public. He might handle criticism in private, but embarrassment in front of others. That wound lingers. But a woman who lifts her man up in front of people, who supports him publicly, even when she has questions privately, that woman holds power. That woman is his queen, and he will do anything to honor and protect her in return. Respect also means trusting him to lead sometimes. That doesn't mean you have to agree with every decision. But if every time he tries, you second-guess him, override him, or act like he's incompetent, he will eventually stop trying. A man doesn't need blind obedience. He needs balanced partnership. He wants your opinion, your strength, your perspective, but not your constant doubt. When a man feels like his woman trusts him, believes in him, and sees him as capable, even if things don't go perfectly, he rises to the occasion. He grows. He becomes more than he was before. That's what respect does. Let me tell you something powerful. A man's greatest fear in a relationship isn't losing love, it's losing respect. He can love you deeply, but if he feels disrespected over and over, that love will slowly fade. But when he feels valued, seen, and respected, that love becomes unshakable. He'll prioritize you. He'll protect you. He'll see you as irreplaceable. So if you're wondering how to get your man to step up, to do more, to be all in, the answer isn't control, it's respect. Respect brings out the best in a man. Show it consistently, and you'll see him transform before your eyes. Not because you demanded it, but because you believed in the man he could be. And once a man feels respected and emotionally connected, what truly makes him stay, what keeps him attracted on a deeper level, is this: a woman who knows her worth and carries herself with unshakable confidence. A high-value man doesn't want a woman who's just sitting around waiting on him to text, to choose her, or to give her life meaning. He doesn't admire someone who has no direction or who molds her world around his. What he desires is a woman with a life of her own, a purpose, dreams. energy that isn't dependent on him. A woman who walks like she knows she's the prize and believes it is the kind of woman who keeps a man's full attention. Not because she needs him, but because she chooses him. And that, my friend, changes everything. You see, confidence is magnetic. A woman who understands her value doesn't have to chase. She doesn't have to beg. She doesn't have to overcompensate or play games. She is the standard, and a man either rises to meet her or he falls behind. Her presence speaks before she even opens her mouth, because she radiates self-assurance, grace, and strength. Too often, women get into relationships and slowly lose sight of who they were before. They start to dim their own light. They stop pursuing their passions, let go of their friendships, abandon their goals. Their world becomes all about the man. And yes, at first, he may enjoy that attention. But over time, that overdependence chips away at his respect, because deep down, every man wants to be with a woman who brings her whole self into the relationship. Not someone who's waiting to be completed, but someone who already is. A man doesn't want to be your whole life. He wants to add to it. And when you keep your own goals, nurture your interests, maintain your self-care, and protect your peace, you become more attractive than ever. You show him that you are whole on your own, that he doesn't complete you, he complements you. And that mindset, that independence, that's exactly what stops you from tolerating nonsense. A confident woman doesn't chase love. She doesn't wait for a man to figure it out. She knows what she deserves, and she's not afraid to walk away if she's not receiving it. And that willingness to walk, that clarity and self-respect, is what makes a man respect you. It's what makes him value you. Men are wired to pursue, to earn what matters. If something comes too easy, it loses meaning. If you're always available, always saying yes, always accommodating his timeline, he doesn't feel the need to put in real effort. But when you've got your own momentum, your own priorities, when you don't drop everything just because he calls, you command a different level of attention. Suddenly, he sees you as someone worth investing in, someone he wants to work for. Now, let's be clear. Confidence isn't arrogance. It's not manipulation or games. It's about growth. It's about being a woman who is always evolving, always leveling up, always becoming a better version of herself. Not for a man, but for herself. And that kind of woman, she naturally keeps a man on his toes. She inspires him to do better. Not because she demands it, but because her very presence calls for it. Confidence also shows in how you carry yourself. It's in your walk, your posture, your voice, your reactions when things don't go your way. A confident woman doesn't fall apart when a man takes too long to text back. She doesn't collapse emotionally when a relationship ends. She doesn't shrink to make a man feel taller. No, she stands tall. She speaks with certainty. She knows rejection isn't a sign of failure, but redirection to something better. That energy, it's rare. It's unforgettable. Men can sense when they're dealing with a woman who isn't easily impressed, who isn't desperate for attention, who doesn't accept the bare minimum. And when that happens, they step correct. They approach with more intention. Because deep down, they know they're dealing with a woman of standard. A lot of women say, men don't take me seriously. But the real question is, do you take yourself seriously? Are you setting boundaries? Are you holding yourself to the standard you expect from others? Because how you treat yourself teaches a man how to treat you. If you tolerate disrespect, if you excuse bad behavior, if you keep letting him back without effort, you're telling him he can do the bare minimum and still have access to you. But when you respect yourself, when you walk away from what doesn't serve you, When you demand more through your actions, not your words, you force a man to step up. He either rises to the occasion or he loses you, and that's how you separate the real from the fake. A confident woman does not fear being alone. She knows she is whole by herself. She doesn't settle for good enough just to avoid solitude. She'd rather wait for the right man than waste her energy on the wrong one. That patience, that self-love, it attracts a man who's truly ready. Ready to love you with intention. Ready to build, not play. Men can feel the difference between a woman moving from insecurity and one moving from self-worth. The insecure woman overcompensates. She gives too much, too fast, too soon. But the secure woman, she observes. She allows things to unfold. She doesn't rush, doesn't force, because she knows if he's the right one, he will rise to meet her. And let's be honest, confidence isn't just how you feel, it's how you show up. It's how you take care of your mind, body, and soul. It's not about perfection. It's about loving yourself enough to show up fully. Dressing in what makes you feel beautiful. Speaking to yourself with kindness. Pouring into your own cup first, because that's what teaches a man how to pour into you. A woman with her own life, her own glow, her own joy. She never has to chase, because she knows if he doesn't step up, someone else will. And that quiet certainty makes a man want to lock her down. It makes him want to give her his best, because she's inspired him to rise. So when women ask me, Steve, how do I make a man commit? How do I make him choose me? I tell them, you don't make a man do anything. You become a woman he never wants to lose. A woman full of confidence, full of purpose, full of life, with or without him. And that, my friend, is the kind of woman a real man will do anything to keep.